So, we are looking at Urantia Foundation versus Maaherra. We have the Ninth Circuit opinion, right? This is a copyright dispute between parties who believe the copyrighted work, the Urantia book, was authored by celestial beings and transcribed, compiled, and collected by mere mortals. In this litigation, the plaintiff appellate Urantia Foundation claims that the defendant appellee Kristen Maaherra infringed the foundation's copyright when she distributed a computerized version of the book on disc. Maaherra concedes copying, so the only issue for us is whether the foundation owns a valid copyright in the book. Let's dissect that a little bit. They are not saying that they are the author. They are saying that the book was authored by, let's get this right, celestial beings, and they are saying that as mere mortals, they took this and now have copied it for humans. And with that are saying that that can't be done. So, let's jump down here to the copyrightability of the book, because again, we're just trying to figure out how this applies to human authorship in generative AI, right? These are humans that have recorded this, apparently, let's say, but they do not claim to be the original authors and that they have not created the content, right? So, the copyrightability of the book, a threshold issue in this case is whether the work, because it is claimed to embody the words of celestial beings rather than human beings, is copyrightable at all. To qualify for copyright protection, a work must be original to the author. They're quoting Feist Publications, the Rural Telephone Service Company. That's a famous copyright case here. I can go into more detail if you guys are interested. If somebody wants to hear more about that, I can do another video. The core statute of this Copyright Act, Section 102A, says, copyright protection subsists in original works of authorship fixed in any tangible medium of expression, from which they can be perceived, reproduced, or otherwise communicated, either directly or with the aid of a machine or device. Right. Maaherra claims that there can be no valid copyright in the book because it lacks the requisite ingredient of human creativity, and that therefore the book is not a work of authorship within the meaning of the Copyright Act. The copyright laws, of course, do not expressly require human authorship, and considerable controversy has arisen in recent years over the copyrightability of computer-generated works. Here we go. We agree with Maaherra, however, that it is not creations of divine beings that the copyright laws were intended to protect, and that in this case, some element of human creativity must have occurred in order for the book to be copyrightable. At the very least, for a worldly entity to be guilty of infringing on copyright, that entity must have copied something created by another worldly entity. Right, so, dissecting that here, human author to get a valid copyright, to create a copyrightable work, and for copyright infringement, that human author entity must have copied something created by another worldly entity. Now, they're getting a little poetic with worldly entity here. We can assume that by saying entity twice, they're talking about humans. They're talking about humans copying from other humans. The district court held that the book was copyrightable. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because, as we're going to see with this Federal Register guidance from the Copyright Office, the guidance does not say that you cannot use generative AI at all in the process of creating copyrightable works. It gets a little bit more complicated. It just requires to disclaim the artificial intelligence portions and to claim the human authorship portions. We're going to get into that in just a little bit. Here we go. All right, holding that the arrangement of divine revelations met the level of creativity required for copyright. And that's what the court ultimately comes out on here, is that when both parties are conceding that the actual content was not created by humans and it was divine revelations, then you still have the ability to have copyright in the arrangement of things. And that's a huge portion of what we can see for copyrightability of potentially works that have used generative artificial intelligence in their creation.